What I'm about to tell you will make you never look at cafeteria workers the same way again. This case haunted me for months because it reveals something terrifying about human nature and how evil can hide behind the most innocent smile. Her name was Margaret Dolinsky, and she was beloved by everyone at Lincoln Elementary School. 23 years serving lunch to children, never a complaint, always had a kind word and a warm smile for every kid who came through her line. The children adored her. She knew their names, asked about their families, slipped extra cookies to kids who seemed sad. Teachers called her an angel. Parents trusted her completely. Margaret was systematically poisoning these same children with antifreeze-laced apple juice, calculating the exact doses to cause suffering without immediate death, and she did it while comforting the very children she was slowly killing. I'm Daniel Mackenzie, and I investigate America's most psychologically disturbing murders. This case broke every rule I thought I knew about criminal behavior, because Margaret wasn't just a poisoner. She was the most caring, nurturing person in these children's lives while she was destroying them. The genius of her method still chills forensic psychologists today. She would serve the poison juice to specific children, then stay by their side as they got sick, holding their hands, calling their parents, even riding in the ambulance to the hospital. By the way, everything I'm sharing comes from extensive interviews with the investigators, medical experts, and families involved. This isn't speculation. It's documented evidence from my book, The Impossible Files. Here's what makes this case impossible to understand. Margaret felt genuine love for these children. Polygraph tests, psychological evaluations, even brain scans showed authentic emotional attachment. She wasn't faking her care. She really did love them while she was killing them. The victims' families still struggle with this. How do you process that the person who comforted your child, who held them while they suffered, was the same person causing that suffering? Child psychologists have never encountered anything like this. Usually child killers show detachment, anger, or mental illness. Margaret showed none of these. She was mentally competent, emotionally connected, and simultaneously loving and lethal. The investigation only began when Dr. Sarah Chen, a pediatric toxicologist, noticed an unusual pattern. 7 children from Lincoln Elementary had been hospitalized in 6 months with identical symptoms that didn't match any known illness or food contamination. The symptoms were specific: severe stomach pain, dizziness, difficulty breathing, but not severe enough to be immediately fatal. It was as if someone was calibrating the poison to cause maximum suffering without quick death. This is just one of the 16 impossible cases I document in the Impossible Files. Link below. But what haunts investigators most isn't the crime itself. It's how someone can simultaneously embody love and evil in the same actions. The forensic evidence was overwhelming once they looked. Margaret had been purchasing antifreeze in small quantities from different stores. Security footage showed her adding something to individual juice containers. Her fingerprints were on the bottles. But here's the impossible part. Every psychological evaluation showed she genuinely believed she was helping these children. Not in a delusional way. She knew she was poisoning them, but somehow in her mind, the poisoning and the nurturing were both expressions of love. She would carefully select which children received the poison juice based on what she called their need for attention. Children from difficult homes, shy kids, those who seemed lonely. She believed making them sick would give them the care and attention they deserved. The courtroom testimony was unbearable. Parents described how Margaret called them with concern when their children got sick, how she visited them in the hospital, brought homemade soup, played games with them while they recovered. One mother testified that Margaret was the only person her son talked about from school. He loved her more than his teachers. She was his favorite adult after his parents, and she was slowly killing him. What makes this case truly impossible is that Margaret never showed sadistic pleasure. Prison psychiatrists describe her as genuinely loving toward children, still deeply concerned about their welfare, unable to understand why people see her actions as contradictory. Right now, you can read the complete Cheerful Poisoner case plus 15 other impossible murders for just $2.99. But I need to warn you, I'm increasing the price to $9.99 next week because this content is disturbing enough that it needs a higher threshold. These aren't entertainment. They're real cases that challenge everything we think we know about human psychology, criminal behavior, and the nature of evil itself. Get the Impossible Files now while it's still $2.99, because once you understand how Margaret's mind worked, you'll never feel safe assuming you know what people are capable of. Link in description, but don't read this alone.